Hey, happy Sunday again. It's already time for another one of our Sunday night Facebook Live chats. And tonight we are going to talk about Weight Watchers on the road again, because we have so many people that are headed out for vacations. School's getting ready to be out in a lot of places. I know lots of people that are headed to graduations. We had quite a few graduations here this weekend, and so we're going to be spending a little bit of time talking about that. So does anybody have any fun trips planned? I know I just clicked live, so we only have one person so far. A couple of people, be here. So how did everybody's Sunday go? It finally stopped raining here, so we have some sunshine. Casey and I got out today and went to a bridal shower. That was a lot of fun. And real quick, while we're waiting on a bunch of people to show up, at the bridal shower today, I got the bride-to-be an air fryer. I got her the same kind that I have. And tonight's chat is not about air fryers. Just saying, while we're waiting on people to come in. And hey, Mandy. That I got the bride-to-be an air fryer. I got her a Power XL air fryer like I have. And hey, Stacy from Idaho. And so I got her the same kind that I have. And hey, Angie. Angie says, hey, girl, hey. Y'all know how much I love saying that one, too. But I got her and hey, Sonia. Got her a Power Air Fryer XL, and she has no idea what to do with it. Hey, Mandy. And so, hey, Susan. So anyway, her grandmother and one of her aunts was very excited when they saw it, and her mom called it my magic machine because she knows how much I love my air fryer, but she was not interested at all. Hey, Melissa. She wasn't interested at all until I said that she could cook corn in it, that she could make fried corn in it, and then she was super excited to get that as a wedding gift. But I just want to remind everybody, if you go to get an air fryer, if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond to get one, be sure and take your coupon, because I got like $40 off using my coupon. So anyway, tonight's chat is not about air fryers. I just wanted to mention that. And hey, Vicki from Central California. So once I start talking, y'all please understand that I won't be able to say hi to every single person. As always, I'm going to say my standard thing. We have a whole lot to talk about tonight, and we only have an hour to talk about it. Tonight we are talking about on the road again. So we've got some, hopefully some great Weight Watchers tips, Smart Points tips to keep us all safe out there on the road, to make sure that we make some good choices while we're out visiting people. Again, a lot of vacations coming up. I know probably half the people I know either traveled to a graduation tonight or this weekend, or will be traveling to one. Got a bunch of people getting ready to go on vacation. A lot of people with weekend road trips, some with longer vacations. So I'm just going to tell you all what, kind of how I prepare for trips, and I'm going to break it down into a couple of things. And y'all know me, I get distracted super fast. So I'll keep it as organized as I can. I will say this, in case you're new here and didn't know this, after every live chat, and thank you all for the hearts, I love them. After every live chat, I go up into our loft and I type up the transcript from what we discussed. So you don't have to panic. You don't have to, hey Karen from Long Island. You don't have to panic and try and take notes. You can pay attention, and I do like it when you all talk, even though I can't respond live to every single, comment or question. I do go back and read every single one of them later, and thank you again for the hearts. But I will go up and transcribe everything, so everything that I show you will be transcribed with the Smart Points and where I get it, because of, we're going to be going over some things, that are on the road. So I know I live in East Tennessee, so some of the places that I will mention could be exclusive to East Tennessee. I don't know. You're just going to have to find places that are similar to them. But the most important thing is I don't want anybody to leave the house unless you have a plan. Please have a plan of action. Please have some idea, what you're going to do. And even if your plan is not to track, is not to keep count of your Smart Points, that's okay, as long as you have a plan. I just want you to plan not to go crazy. So planning not to track, is okay. If you want to track, though, I want to be able to help you. And I had pretty good results last week with carrying the phone around instead of having it stationary. So I think I'm going to do that again this week, because I do have a lot to show, and I don't need both of my hands since we won't actually be cooking anything. So yeah, I know y'all are going to be disappointed, but there is no cooking involved tonight. This is all, well, there's a whole lot of stuff sitting here. I'll show it to you in just a second. But anyway, so kind of how I plan. I'll decide, kind of check out, okay, what are we doing? We do like to camp, and I know Sonia's on here. She loves to camp too, so maybe she can chime in with some of her ideas for camping. So we love to camp. We also like to go on, when we have the opportunity to go on little weekend trips. My sister lives in Georgia, so we do, quite a bit of driving. When I go with my husband, on rare occasion when I get to go with him for work, we do quite a bit of driving. And then, of course, once a year we make the trek down to Orlando to go to Disney World. So we've got the whole trip down there and the whole trip back to deal with, with traveling, and then camping once we get there. But let's face it, when we're in Disney World, we're camping at Disney World, so how rough is that? So the way I'm going to kind of divide this out is I want to show y'all how to be prepared, and the prepared is, I'm hey Nicole, and the prepared part could really apply to anything. If you're riding in the car, if you're not as much if you're flying, but this is more about, and hey there Karen, this is more about traveling if you're going to be driving or riding, or the destination once you get there. Not so much on an airplane, because there are so many regulations on an airplane. Some of the, a few of the things might apply to that, but this is more to keep you, a little bit, kind of keep a better grip on it when you're in the car. Because I don't know about you all, but my preference would be when we have these long car rides, especially like when we're going to Disney. That's like a 11 or 12 hour ride. I sleep part of the way, so I don't really know how long it takes to get there. But for those longer car rides, even just to go to my sister's, which is just 4 hours, I want to snack the whole way. And I think that's because that's what we did when we were growing up. We had a van, and our parents would literally just stock the back of the van with all kinds of snack foods, and we didn't get to stop along the way. That was before there was a McDonald's at every exit, and plenty of places to eat. So they would just stock us full of foods and snack foods, in the van, and we literally would snack all the way there and all the way back. So I want to help y'all prepare for this. So I'm going to turn the camera around so I can show you a few of the things that we have here. So here again, y'all see that I have a ton of things here, in the loft prepared for you. The first thing I want to show you is if you are going camping, or if you're just going on a long car ride. And no, we are not cooking tomato feta soup. This will make sense in a second. But if you're going camping, if you're just going on a long car ride, whatever, if you're traveling, I like to keep some empty containers. So, and the empty containers will make sense here in just a few minutes, but a lot of times when we're camping or when we're going to Disney World, or like here in East Tennessee, we have Dollywood. If any of y'all have been to Dollywood, shout out, hey Dolly. But I like to keep, some containers, some sturdier plastic containers. I keep those on hand for when I need to pack things. And again, I'll show you this in a second, but when I need to pack things into a smaller container and take it with me. And these are, you can see that's a fairly sturdy container, so it's going to keep things from getting squished. But also, it is a disposable container, so that if it gets lost, if it gets crushed, if I forget it somewhere, or if it just gets nasty and I need to throw it away, I don't feel so bad about, throwing it away. So the tomato feta soup container from Trader Joe's is a pretty good size. That's a pretty good size container with a lid. My beloved palmetto cheese. This is the size that comes from Costco. Hey, Beth. This is the size that comes from Costco. There's also a small one, but these are good containers. So I like to reuse these, put some things in them. And again, I'll show y'all what I do with those in a few minutes. This one, I don't really remember what came in this container, but again, reusable containers, sturdy. It's going to keep things from getting crushed in my backpack. It's going to keep things from getting crushed in the car. If we need to pack a cooler with ice, this is going to keep things from getting soggy, because they're in another container, but they can stay cold. Then I also, anytime we go to any fast food restaurant or somewhere where they give out the little packets like this that have, and most of the time they'll have, a fork and a knife in them anyway, or at least a fork, and they have a napkin and like some salt and pepper or whatever. It doesn't matter whether or not I need them. Or see, like this one was just a spoon, so that's from Wendy's probably. And then here's another one that, fork and a knife, salt and pepper and a napkin. So it doesn't matter whether I need the utensils for what I purchased right then. I go ahead and take the utensils because I keep them with me. And believe it or not, I have a big Ziploc baggie, like a gallon-sized Ziploc baggie of, things like this. so that when I know when we're going on a trip, I can go ahead and grab those and pack them. And I'll show you what I do with these in just a few minutes. So that's just some, some little things that I like to take with me, that I like to keep on hand, so that I'm always prepared. One of the things that we talked about in our chat last week was I'm just going to jump right into some things. The being prepared, is the first part. The next thing that I want to talk about is being prepared with some items that you can take with you on your trip. Because you need to, just need to be planning a little bit ahead. I know a lot of people drink coffee, when they're headed down, and it's really tempting just to stop at, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or something. But let's face it, if I stop at Dunkin' Donuts, I'm getting a donut too. And I don't need to do that, because I know myself. I know I will not just get coffee. So last week in our chat, we talked about these Premier protein drinks, and I think this one's a great one if you're going to be tempted to stop and get something. If you want, like, some iced coffee, you need a little bit of, pick me up for the road. I think this one's a good idea. Stop at Starbucks and get a double espresso in a venti cup with ice, and yes, they will sell that to you. And then if you want to put a whole Premier protein drink in there, and this one just happens to be caramel, it comes in a lot of different flavors. This entire container is 2 Smart Points. I only use half the container. Half the container is 1 Smart Point, and we discussed this last week. That is for all of the flavors. So I think that's a good way to keep yourself from going crazy at a coffee place. But if you need to stop and get some coffee, these do not have to be refrigerated. The container's pretty, it's pretty sturdy, so it's going to pack well. And again, I keep like a tote bag. If it's just going to be a short trip, I'll pack a bunch of things like this in it. Not just like this. I'll show you some other things, but I pack in that. If it's going to be a longer trip, I'll use sometimes I'll use a laundry basket. Sometimes I will use the they're not flat, but the cardboard boxes that they have at Costco that like fruit and things came in that have the handles on the side. Not really a banana box. It's more they call them flats, is why I'm saying a flat box. But it's the flats like blackberries or, things, some kinds of vegetables and fruits come in, because it's a very sturdy box and it has handles, so it's easy to pick up and put in and out of the car. And again, or the truck, and when I'm done, if everything's empty, I don't feel bad about throwing it away. I don't feel bad if we lose it, and I don't feel bad, if it goes away or if it gets messed up. But it's a great way to repurpose something. Plus, it gives me something to put my stuff in. So, pack something like this, to keep you from being tempted. We used to stop and pick up the Starbucks drinks that are in a glass container at a convenience store, but even those are like 8, 9, 10, 12, points depending on what size you get. And Angie wants to know where you can get the Premier protein drinks. So I got these at Kroger. They have them at Kroger. They do have them at Walmart. They have them at they have them at Costco, but I think in Costco it's only one flavor, and it's like either vanilla or chocolate, which is not my favorite, but if you like vanilla or chocolate, those would be fine. Okay, Dorothy says you can get them at Walmart and Costco. Melissa says Sam's or Costco, so that sounds good. And I know, and Jennifer says Walmart. So there are a lot of places to get these, and they come in a bunch of different flavors. Does anybody know how many flavors? Because I don't normally tend to drink. Okay, Melissa says Publix too, and Christy says Sam's. I don't normally drink iced coffee. I don't normally drink flavored coffee. I only drink it when it's cold. So I think we talked about this last week. I drink black coffee when it's hot, and when it's cold, I will put some of this in, when it's cold. Anyway, and Christy says banana is her favorite. I heard somebody said banana last week. I've never seen the banana. I'm going to have to look for that one. It's banana cream. So I'll keep an eye out for that one. But anyway, this is a good way just to keep yourself, kind of under control as you're driving. Always, always, always pack, some kind of snack bar. So even if get to look at my pens for just a second. So even if you don't, think that you're she says, Nicole says it tastes like a moon pie. That's very interesting. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to find that, because being from East Tennessee, I totally know what moon pies are. Always pack yourself some kind of a snack bar, some kind of a protein snack bar. It's gonna, when everybody else in the car is begging for candy bars, you can pull out one of these. I keep a couple of different kinds. One, hey, Casey, I saw the thumb go up with your picture, so I know you're here. But I keep, at least 3 different kinds. The ones that I take most frequently with me are Kind bars, and I like these. They're not so sturdy when they're packed because they do get crumbly, but I use these a lot when I put some peanut butter or something on an apple, and I'll use this for the topping because they're really easy to crush, and crumble up, and it's like having a thing of like granola, but in a bar. And these are, most of the Kind bars are like 5 points each. Quest bars, I always have Quest bars with me, and I always have them in my purse. These seem to do the best heat-wise too, and even when they get squished in your purse, like if you've had them in your purse for a little while, even when they get squished, they're still totally fine. And all of the Quest bars, all of the kinds that I like are 4 points each. So I eat the chocolate chip cookie dough, I eat the brownie, the double chocolate brownie. So all of those, a couple of the more desserty flavored ones, like the white chocolate raspberry or something like that, they're 5 smart points, but they hold up really well. They do well in the heat. I keep these in our backpack when we go to Disney. Doesn't seem to matter what the temperature is outside. I mean, I wouldn't leave them locked up in a car, but they do, hold really well if you're, at a theme park or at a water park and you need to pack something in your backpack. These do really well. And all the ones I eat are 4 points each. Then if you want to take some, more dessert type bars with you, the Nugo Slim is my new favorite dessert type protein bar. And again, last week we talked about desserts. Girls, these are dessert. The crunchy peanut butter is what I used to make the fluff. And oh, I just realized I haven't posted that recipe yet. So maybe I should not talk about that too much or y'all get upset with me. But anyway, these are good to keep on hand. All of the Nugo Slim bars, Slim. They have a couple of different kinds, but all of the Slim are 5 smart points. And this is definitely a dessert bar. So when everybody else in the car is eating peanut M&Ms and, Hershey's chocolate and things like that, I'll be eating one of these because this is definitely like dessert. And it's the funniest thing, once we get down to Disney, I don't know why, but I feel like I have to eat sweet treats. I have no idea what that's about, but the Nugo Slim is my new go-to dessert bar. I will say this, do not leave these in your purse or in your backpack if it's going to be warm outside, because it is made with real chocolate. See, if you look right here, dipped in real dark chocolate, and it has no maltitol and no artificial sweeteners. So ladies, that means it melts just like chocolate because it's real chocolate. So and Angie wants to know where I get the Nugo bars. So I get those at, again, Publix and Kroger. You can order them online. If you go to nugonutrition.com and order them, be sure, and you can get a sample pack, and be sure and put in our discount code. It is WEIGHT15, WEIGHT 15. If you put that in at checkout, you get 15% off of your order. Okay, so a couple of more things to keep on hand that are sturdy. We've talked about these little olive packs before. They come in 4 different kinds. This happens to be the Kalamata kind. One container, this whole container. Now, the serving size is like 3 olives. And I'm not going to open one of these containers and just eat 3 olives, but I like to keep any kind of fruit or like, these little vegetable things or whatever, in these little containers, because again, they're sturdy. This does not have to be refrigerated until it's opened. So you can carry these, with you, carry them in your backpack. It's a good, snack. But this whole container is 3 smart points. And again, it's disposable, so you can get rid of it when you're done. I always take some kind of sturdy fruits with me. And when I say sturdy, I mean like this is it's a Missoula, I think is what it says, or Mineola, sorry, a Mineola Tangelo. I do like the Sumo Tangelos better. I don't know what the difference is, but the Sumos just peel a little bit easier, but I always take some fruit with me that doesn't have to be refrigerated. So like this, a banana, halos, something like that does not have to be refrigerated. They're sturdy, like that's not going to get too beat up in your backpack, not going to get too beat up in your purse, and they're easy to peel, so you don't need any other utensils to peel them. There have been plenty of times we've been riding down the road and I need something, and and I want it right then. Grab one of these, peel it and go. I keep these in my backpack when we're at Dollywood or at Disney World. and they're great. The bananas, I have to be a little bit more careful with them when we're at Disney World because the security people at Disney are a little handsy lately. And what I mean by that is they really fondle your bags before you go in. So I'll show you what to do about that too, because they, a lot of the places, a lot of the theme parks and things, they've really had to crack down on security, because they've had, well, here, let's go back to me for a second so you can quit staring at the Tangelo. But anyway, a lot of the theme parks have had to crack down on security, and understandably so, but since they've done that, they're really going through your bags. So if you're going places like, again, here in East Tennessee, if you're going to to Dollywood, if you're going to Disney World, Disneyland, Six Flags, somewhere like that, I'm going to show you here in a few minutes some ways to pack so that they can easily check your bag, but you can still get your food in. Most of those places, I believe, still do let you take food in. I know Disney World does for sure because we do it every time. And, but they need to be able to look through it. The reason that I take... Again, another reason that I take sturdy things like this, like if you're going to the beach, don't have to be refrigerated. They're not, not perishable until you've peeled them open. Again, super, something like this, something like a banana, super easy to peel, to get open, and you don't need any other tools. You don't have to take a knife with you or anything to slice it or cut it, or whatever. And like the halos, you can grab a whole bag. So what we do when we go to Disney is I pack the stuff that we're talking about here, for riding in the car. But when we get down there, we go to Publix, and even though I, already have some of this stuff, we grab some more. Like I'll grab a box of, and they come in a box down there, a box of halos, like just clementines. Depends on, it doesn't have to be Halo brand, but grab some of those because, again, they pack well, non-perishable. You don't have to have anything extra to get them open. So things like this are really good. So that's still it still does not have to be refrigerated. We talked last week, I'm going to flip you back around. We talked last week about the Skinny Pop popcorn cakes. Any kind of popcorn cakes work. They're easy to transport. I like these because A, they taste better than any other popcorn cakes, and they come in like this, 2 in a container, so you're not opening a big bag, like some of them come in a big sleeve and you have to, once you open it, you got to do something with it. So these come 2 in the box. So if you pack this whole, box to go on your trip, then you can pull out, just 1 or 2 or however many you need. And these are 2 smart points for the pack. So it's 2 smart points for 2 of these. Easy to grab, easy to take with you. And obviously the Tangelos, bananas, and clementines I was talking about are 0 points. But I'll show you something to do with that again in a second. And for those of you that are like me, and when you're on vacation or just taking a little trip or something, you just feel like you just have to have some chocolate. I don't know why I feel like I have to have chocolate, but these Nutella, the little cups to go, these are safe for me because, again, it's this little container, and we talked about these last week during our dessert chat. And if you haven't watched the dessert chat, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. Oh, and I will mention this. I did not know this until last week, but when you all go back and watch this on YouTube, I really need to, Vicki said after last week she shared these with her Weight Watchers meeting. That's awesome, because you know what, ladies, this is, and I think we're all ladies here tonight, this is so much easier together, and that's why I attend a meeting every week, and that's why I do these chats for you all. Believe it or not, the chats help me as much as they help you all. So, if one of you all gets some help, that's awesome, but it helps to remind me because sometimes I forget about things, and these little Nutella cups are one thing that I had forgotten about. I love Nutella, but I cannot buy it in a jar because you all know me, I'm an, bottom of the container girl. So if I open a jar of Nutella, or if I open a jar of like the cookie butter from Trader Joe's or something like that, I'll go back, get a spoonful, get a spoonful, get a spoonful, get a spoonful, I will spoonful it. I will do a spoonful until it's completely gone. So I can't do that. So I have to get things that are in little containers like this. So these are the little Nutella, things, and there are 10 mini cups in the package, and it's 4 smart points for 1 mini cup. And I found these at Publix. So Dorothy's asking where you can find them. I found them at Publix. I'm assuming there's lots of other places that that have them, but I'm pretty sure I was over with the peanut butter. I don't think I was with the dessert. Is where I found these. But what I started to say though about, what was I talking about? I don't know. It was right before the Nutella. I don't know. Anyway, it'll come back to me in just a second. But anyway, so this is another great one. So look, little container, sturdy little container. This would go great in a backpack. I wouldn't get it hot, wouldn't get it super hot. You know, like wouldn't leave your backpack in a car, and wouldn't leave your bag, you know, in a car. But great for traveling. Don't have to put them in a cooler when you're traveling. So, you know, they stay great. And if you're taking kids with you and Angie says, go ahead and eat one, not eating one, Angie. And the reason I'm not eating anything tonight is because we went to a bridal shower today and we had strawberry cake. And I ate it, and I ate the icing, and it was delicious. But not kidding, it was probably 28 points worth of cake. So yeah, I won't be eating any sweets tonight. But the Nutella is really good. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Karen, thank you. One of the Karens said, if we watch the videos on YouTube, ... So that's what I was talking about. If you watch the videos, if you go back and watch these on YouTube, please like, comment, and share, because if you like them, comment on them, and share them, then I actually can do more of them. So I didn't know that it would help to, you know, to promote my videos if you know, watch them and share them. But anyway, so yeah, so if y'all don't mind, if you would go, you know, go and watch these if you want to go back and watch them, if you want to see what we talked about, you know, last week or, you know, week before that, because we've talked about all these. Or if you go to the blog, which is www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, and Casey or somebody, if you could type that here for the people that are just joining us. But if you go to the blog and rewatch this, it'll take you to YouTube. Or if you go to YouTube, go directly to YouTube and watch these. All of the video chats are there, and Betty says she eats Nutella until it's all gone. So this would be good for me. Oh, in her office snacks in her drawer. Yeah, it would be, and great for kids too. Awesome for kids, because you can throw these in a lunchbox too, for kids. But anyway, so if you watch the videos on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind to like, comment, and share, and it helps me to be able to do more videos. So anyway, Nutella little cups. I highly recommend them, and I'll show you something to do with the Nutella cups here in a second. So let's go back to our food, because we do have quite a few more things. You all know how I love my eggs. These do have to be refrigerated, but a lot of stores, and thank you, Melissa, thank you, Nicole. They both put the blog down there. It's www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. So thank you guys for listing that for me. But y'all know how I love my eggs, and you know how I struggle with hard boiling eggs, which, to segue for just a second, the steaming method does seem to work. But it's so easy to buy them like this that I'm like, you know, why not? I'll just keep buying them. So what I like about these, they're already pre-hard boiled, and doesn't have to be Eggland's Best, but those are I either buy this kind or I buy Trader Joe's. If it's Trader Joe's, I've gone to that week. And notice I always buy cage-free. You don't have to. Hard-boiled eggs are hard-boiled eggs. But for some reason, cage-free chickens make me feel like the eggs are happier if the chickens are happier, but that's just me. And obviously, hard-boiled eggs are 2 smart points, you know, per egg. They're very sturdy. They're hard-boiled eggs. And you can kind of hear them in there, but you do need to keep these in a cooler, or you need to wait until you get there. So check out before you go, check out your hotel before you get there, or if you're camping, you know, make sure you've got some way to keep things refrigerated. If you're going to be driving, I would suggest putting these in a cooler, you know, to keep them cold. We buy them when we get down to Orlando. We go ahead and buy more of these because these are great. I'll show you here in just a second what to do with these. But it's just a great snack. Lots of protein. Let's see. A hard-boiled egg has, one hard-boiled egg has 5 grams of protein. So, you know, it's gonna fill you up. And it's just a great idea. So these are a great idea to keep on hand. I keep these if we're just going to be driving a lot too, you know, like for work and things. And I used to have a sales rep that she visited Home Depot stores for us, and she was skinny mini. I mean, she was a little bitty girl, but she was just naturally skinny. You know, she was a civilian, but she kept these in her car when she was out making store visits, and she would just sit on the I guess she would open like the hatch on her car or whatever, and she would sit out there every day and eat 2 hard-boiled eggs for her lunch. And she was tiny, so maybe we should all eat 2 hard-boiled eggs every day and we could be as tiny as her. Okay, so that's hard-boiled eggs. We talked about these last week, or something like this. These are the, oh no, I'm sorry, we talked about these last week. We talked about these last week, and I'm sorry, one Karen, that's funny, 2 Karens are talking at the same time. So one Karen says she buys a package every week. One Karen says, where do you find the hard-boiled eggs? I've never seen them. So Karen, I get them and here in Knoxville, I get them at Kroger and Publix, and I've seen them at Ingles, and Trader Joe's, obviously, but they are they're over with the other eggs, and they're usually up and on the right, and they're with the egg whites. They're usually sitting right next to the egg whites. And Angie says, tell about Bragg's yeast. That would be great for on the go. Angie, you would pretty much just have to put the container of Bragg in your cooler, or put it like in a little container, put it in a small container or something. But you could take it on the go. You just need to keep it refrigerated. Once it's open, I know. And Carol's laughing because Angie says something about Bragg's every week. And Angie, yes, it's very good on eggs. But I'm beginning to think that Angie owns stock in Bragg's, and she must own stock in pressure cookers because she talks about them so much. And just a funny side note, I was thinking about having you're welcome, Karen. I was thinking about having Angel says you can find them in the deli pre-made sandwich section in most stores, or with the fresh eggs. Yeah, I guess you can find them there. I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, and Angie says she owns stock. She says Aldi also. She's talking about owning stock in it. So just a funny side note. So I've been trying to figure out how to have, okay, let's go back to me for a second, because I feel like you're talking to the bag of pretzel Slims. So I've been trying to figure out how to have a scavenger hunt game or a bingo game or something, because I love to, Angie, shush, you know I'm not good at boiling eggs. Mandy says she did not know it had to be refrigerated. You didn't know what had to be refrigerated? Eggs? You knew that. Or are you talking about the Bragg? Because Mandy, the Bragg does not have to be refrigerated when it's on the shelf, but after you open it, you do need to put it in the refrigerator. But anyway, I've been trying to figure out how to have a scavenger hunt or a bingo game or something, because I love. No, Nicole, I've not had a pressure cooker chat. And are you friends with Angie or something? Because that's all she talks about. But anyway, so if we do, I was thinking about having, and y'all have totally distracted me again, which is not hard. But what I was thinking about for maybe a bingo game or something is if I sent out cards somehow, or if y'all made up your own cards or whatever, that when we do these live chats, if you all, marked off things, like the squares could be like Bragg's nutritional yeast or pressure cooker. I'm kidding. Or air fryer or something, things that I talk about a lot, and then y'all could mark off your squares as I say things. So what do y'all think? Would that be doable? Would y'all want to do that? Okay, so let's get back onto the chat that we're on. So, anywho. Okay, so the pretzel thins we talked about last week, and we talked about them during the Aldi chat. These just happen to be the Aldi brand. They're or from Aldi. They're the Clancy's Pretzel Slims. They have. Okay, see, now y'all have got me worried. Okay, hold on. Let's talk. Let's go over here and look at our Bragg's nutritional yeast and how we end up talking about this every single week. I don't know. Okay, it says on it. Let me see. Hold on just a second. Okay, you don't have to refrigerate it. It says store tightly sealed in a cool, dark place or the refrigerator. So I know that's backwards. Y'all will be fine. So it doesn't have to be refrigerated, so calm down, but you need to keep it in a cool place, like it needs to be cool. So I guess I need to throw mine out. No, okay. Everybody slow down. We're supposed to be talking. I'm just laughing because we're supposed to be talking about on the road things. Okay, you don't have to refrigerate it, but it needs to be in a cool, dark place. So the pantry would be fine. Let's see, you're saying I don't need to trash it. No, Angie, you don't need to trash it. Let me show you why I don't keep mine in my you know, like in my shelves. So hold on, let me turn you back around again. Okay, so excuse my counters. We live in a loft that doesn't belong to us. And do you see these lights under here? So I don't put anything in here that's going to melt, because so like on this bottom shelf, because the lights that are under here, they make this shelf really warm. And even this shelf, like where like where my Smart Balance is, even this shelf, the Smart Balance stays a little bit, it stays a little thin, I guess, for lack of a better term, because those are so warm. So we don't have, here in the loft, we don't have, and Christy, I don't know why your screen is frozen, but I'll stop moving around. And Nicole says squirrel. Yes, Nicole, we have hit a squirrel. So I'll just say one more time, don't nobody throw away your brags. Calm down. You just don't need to leave it sitting in a warm spot. For heaven's sake, don't leave it sitting out in the sun. Yeah, Angie asks if it's not that hot, but it is warm. So just need to keep it somewhere cool. I keep mine in the refrigerator because, again, we do not have a lot of storage space that's not warm, if that makes any sense. So like if I had a pantry, so anything that you would keep in a cool, cool, dark place, whatever, like, I guess, I don't know, flour, or I don't know, something. But anyway, okay, so let's get off the brags, girls. We'll save that for a bingo week, and we'll use that for a bingo word. So back to this. So these pretzel slims that I've been trying to talk about now for probably 6 minutes. Aldi has them. They're the Clancy's brand. Kroger, Ingles, everybody has them. They're pretzel thins, and Trader Joe's has their own brand. I like these because they're sturdy. They're good for dipping things, and I'll show you what to, something to dip them in here in a few minutes. 1 ounce is 3 Smart Points, and Casey and I actually counted out an ounce today, and an ounce is about 20 of them. So it's about 20, pretzel thins. But these are a nice, sturdy thing to keep. They're salty. We had somebody in our Weight Watchers group today that was asking about salty things, just something else to eat salty, because she's been eating veggie chips. These are super, super good. Those, when you're on a trip, these with one of the Nutella cups would be awesome. These with one of the guacamole cups that we get at Aldi. These are 4 Smart Points for the guacamole cup, and then 3 Smart Points for the Slims. The guacamole cup does have to be refrigerated. So I don't want to get any questions about whether or not, guacamole has to be refrigerated. An unopened avocado does not have to be refrigerated. A guacamole cup, and I know that sounds silly, but a guacamole cup has to be refrigerated. Angel says, Nicole says that these are great with hummus. They are, and I know you can get some little hummus cups, and we'll talk about those in a minute. She says, Angel says that Dollar Tree sells 3-ounce bags of Snack Factory thin pretzels if you want to try them without spending too much. That's an awesome idea, Angel. Thank you for sharing that. So again, little cups like this, and these have to be refrigerated. Don't want to hear anybody saying, well, you said we could put it in our pantry. I did not say you could put guacamole in your pantry. Guacamole, already made as guacamole, has to be refrigerated. But these are a nice little snack container, again, for trips. So we're talking about, this is Weight Watchers on the road. So, on the road again with Weight Watchers. So we are, let's see. Oh, Alan says, where do you get the guacamole cups at so I can tell my mother? And Alan is my son-in-law, and thanks for chiming in there, Alan, about guacamole cups. So tell your mom they've got these at Aldi. So I think I got them at the Aldi in Bearden, if she goes to that one, or if she goes to the one in Cedar Bluff, I'm sure they've got them too. But these are over in the refrigerated section. And Alan, so tell your mom that I almost missed these the very first time I found them, because they were way back in a corner at the Aldi that I went to, but I went to the one in, I guess technically that's Powell. Anyway, Aldi, and Angie says yes, Aldi. So Angie, who apparently owns stock in Aldi. Okay, so let's see. Okay, a couple other things, because as usual, we're at 35 minutes, and I've still got all this to talk about. So these don't have to be the Bumblebee brand, but what I was saying was, so we had another squirrel. What I was saying was, in case you're just tuning in, this is a chat about Weight Watchers on the road again. So, and it's, I'm sorry, Jennifer said, what were the points again on the guacamole? It's 4 points for the little cup. And everything will be transcribed. Everything will be here later. It'll be on the blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com later. And so Angie says, you're doing great. Take your time. I'll be here. I have all night. Okay, yeah, I don't, because I haven't had supper yet. And I had a piece of strawberry cake that I got to get rid of by eating some actual food. But anyway, so yeah, so this is on the road again with Weight Watchers. So what we're talking about tonight is, in case you just tuned in, is, and it's funny because we just had my friend Allison, hey Allison, just tuned in. So what I was saying was, in case you just tuned in, this is Weight Watchers on the road again. So this is for everybody coming up with all those graduation trips coming up. These field trips, oh my gosh, this would be great for some of the things that we're talking about today would be great for field day. And, you know, that was one of my favorite days of the year, you know, and pack something, you know, to go with you. It's great for a weekend jaunt, or some of the things that we're talking about would be great if you're going to be gone, you know, like for a week. So we go to Disney World every year, and I definitely pack a whole lot of this stuff for Disney World. So back on this, whoop, hold on. Okay, these are great. Yeah, and Angie says, I told you to eat something. Yeah, you told me to eat something else sweet. I don't need something else sweet, Angie. So these are great to keep around. The Bumblebee has them. Starkist has them. The Bumblebee have some great flavors. Most of these are 1 to 2 points. I will say the spicy Thai chili is 3 points, but it's really good. And this is a big container. These do not have to be refrigerated. So these travel well. They travel really well. Don't have to be refrigerated. These are already mixed up, and look, spoon included. So you don't even have to come up with a utensil. Casey eats these straight out of the bag. She doesn't even, you know, pour it into anything. She just eats it straight out of the bag, and they are delicious. But this kind is 3 smart points. Most of the rest of them are 1 smart point. So those are great, you know, for traveling. These would totally keep in your backpack. And I keep talking about backpacks, but when we travel, we take a backpack a lot, a backpack or a tote bag. So, you know, these would keep really well in them. Do not have to be refrigerated. It's fine if they get hot, not a big deal. And if you had these and those, that would be really good. Okay, so we're going to stop and talk about some of the things that I pack to take with us first, and then we're going to, and wow, Casey, nice of you to finally join. It is 8:42, Missy. You are late. Where have you been? And what is that from? Let's see. What does she say? You're late. Where have you been? Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Casey. And you got to tell me where that was from. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what some things that we pack for when we get there. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is some things that I pick up, along the way, if you have to stop at a convenience store. So, an Angel says that she's using these ideas for, no, not Mrs. Weasley. Casey, you are so wrong. Think about it. And you're late. Where have you been? Think about it, Casey. Okay. Oh, and you think about that. Anyway, Angel says she's using some of these ideas for her desk at work so she can avoid the vending machine. That is awesome. That is an awesome idea, Angel. So let's see. These are some of the things that I take with me. This is always in our backpack when we go to Disney. And the handful of times that we go to Dollywood. And it's so funny because we literally live like an hour away from Dollywood, and yet we hardly ever go there. We always go to Disney. So perhaps I shouldn't have sealed the bag since I'm holding the phone in my other hand. Hold, please. Okay. So I keep this in my backpack. And we always have at least one day that we're at Disney that this goes in with me. I put it in a clear backpack. Remember I talked about the security people getting handsy? They, don't fuss at them. Be kind to them. They are standing there usually in the hot sun all day long listening to tourists spoiled rotten tourists like us complain all day about having to stand in line, but to get checked in. And so yeah, be nice to them. Tell them thank you and be kind. But help them out by doing things like this. I try to pack, when we're going through line, I try to pack our things in clear plastic bags. So this is an example of something that we take every single time, at least one day. Oh, we do this at Universal. So the last time that we went to Universal Studios, we waited, and I'm not kidding you. Let's go back to me for a second. Okay, so let's just talk for a second. The last time that we went to Universal, it was when I can't remember the name of the ride. Casey will have to tell us, but it had first opened, and the line was literally 3 hours long. I'm not kidding you. It was 3 hours. So we packed this, and everybody was staring at us in line. And I do this. We usually end up doing this, when we're waiting on, in one of the lines at Disney that's longer. But I keep this in my backpack, and we have it at least one. Oh yeah, it was Escape from Gringotts. Yeah, 3 hours long was the line. Yeah, we won't never do that again. But anyway, keep your advance. Okay, Angie, you're not making sense anymore. Okay, so you remember these little utensil packs that I take? So I always have one of those in there. Then, oh yeah, Angie. So, okay, again, that's another reason I keep these in the clear plastic bags. So what I do when I get up there in line at security is I take out my bags, I take out all my clear plastic bags, and I set them out so that they can see what's in the clear plastic bag and they don't squish them. Because if you don't, they're going to go, they take your backpack and go squish, 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 squish like this, and then you get to where you're going to eat your bananas or whatever it is, and they're all squished. So, since there's 2 of us now, just me and my husband that are standing in line, I used to pack for 3. Before, this is 2 of the Joseph's pitas, and each pita is 1 Smart Point. So I put 2 of those in there, and then obviously I have 2, bananas packed in here, and a Jif to go cup. And an entire Jif to go cup is 7 Smart Points. Half of a Jif to go cup is 4 Smart Points, and these come in natural too. So I literally take my backpack and I turn it around onto the front of me and use it like a table. And I put these. I take these out of the Ziploc bag. I set them on top of the Ziploc bag. I use remember the packet of utensils that I took from Lord knows what store. That I didn't need it that day, but I needed it this day. So I take that. Take my Jif to go, and I put half of it on each one of the pitas, and then I slice up the bananas while we're waiting in line, and I put circle slices of bananas on top of the pitas, and I make each one of us a little sandwich. And you wouldn't believe how many jealous looks that we've gotten in line from other people that were like, oh, because they didn't think of that, and they're all standing there eating So they're all in line eating, greasy chips or just starving to death, because they're in the 3-hour line for Escape to Gringotts. Yes, Casey, thank you. I was quoting Ellen's Energy Adventure. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming back with us and, figuring that out. But anyway, so everybody else is standing there in line jealous because they either have no food, and we have bottled water and peanut butter and banana sandwiches. And we're looking all, full and sassy, and they're standing there starving to death and sweating, and we're eating lunch. And it sure makes the time pass faster. It's not going to make a 3-hour line for Gringotts pass that much faster, but it does make it pass faster. Okay, and as usual, I'm going to start talking really fast because we're running behind. So remember all the little containers that I keep? Obviously, this is a little Smart Balance container. This is one that you will have to keep refrigerated, but again, or keep in a cooler. So sturdy. It's a sturdy little container. So this one's a good one to keep on hand. It's 2 hard-boiled eggs and 1 tablespoon of Kirkland's bacon. And if you do not have a Costco, I am so very sorry. You could go ahead and, you could put some Bragg's nutritional yeast on that if you were going to take it from home. But that is, so it's 2 points for each egg. So that's 4 Smart Points for the eggs, 1 Smart Point for the crumbled bacon. And remember, I always have these with me. Always. Like if you look in my purse right now, there's at least 1 pack of these in my purse. I never leave home unprepared. So that would be a nice little 5 Smart Point meal, and that would keep me out of the line at McDonald's. So there's that one. And again, it's sturdy. Oh yeah, and okay, Casey's just sucking up now. She's trying to make up for being late by doing a lot of thumbs ups. Thanks. And Angie, we've talked about where to get brags, so we're moving on to the next thing. Okay, here's another one of my containers. Obviously, there are times when I need my Smart Balance to be in a ginormous tub. So here's another container, sturdy container. This one, honestly, I don't remember what's in it. Let me see, because I did these earlier. Okay, this one does not have to be refrigerated. So this would be a great one for a backpack when you're going to the beach, or if you're just riding in the car. And hey, Susan, you're good. And remember to go back later and watch these on YouTube. And if you watch them on YouTube, like, share, and I know, Casey, I'm just jerking you around. But remember, when you watch them on YouTube, let's see, like, share, and comment so that I can do more of them. But anyway, so this one is does not have to be refrigerated. So this one would be a great one to take to the beach. It'd be great to take in your backpack, just take in the car. This would be a great something to turn around and hand the kids, if they're in the back seat, while you're riding. So this one got a little thing of applesauce, and the applesauce is 0 Smart Points. I have, and you could actually do this for 2 kids. So I have, remember this packs of Skinny Pop? So there's 2 of these in there. That's 2 Smart Points for this. And it is 7 Smart Points for one of these. And here's the natural kind. So it's 7 Smart Points for this. And then 4 Smart Points for the Nutella. So if you divided this up between, 2 people or, 2 kids in the back or whatever, you could do a point each for the Skinny Pop. Then if you divide this, that's 4 points. Then if you divided this in half, then that would be 2 points. So that would be 1, 5, 6, 7. That'd be 7 points. You can fight over who gets the applesauce, or you can just, be nice and share. And again, look, that all fits in there. That all fits nicely in there. Does not have to be refrigerated. This is sturdy again. I would not take something like this, though, into Disney World, Dollywood, or some other, theme park where they, get handsy, because they're going to have to disassemble this whole thing. But that, that's a great one to take on the go. Then here's another Smart Balance container. This one has, this one does not have to be refrigerated. This one is 1 ounce of the pretzel Slims, and 1 ounce of the pretzel Slims, there's about 20 pretzels in here. That's 3 Smart Points. Then I have, this is, and I always call them the wrong thing, mandarin oranges, but they're in their own juice. So that's 0 Smart Points, but don't drink the juice. So that's 0 Smart Points. And then here's one of the little tuna things. So this was 1 point for the tuna. So I've got 1 point of tuna, 3 points for this, 0 points for my little cup of, my little cup of fruit. And remember, I always have, some of these with me. So I've got, in this little container, I have 5 Smart Points. And if I fold that, if I fold the tuna back over, the little go back on. And again, does not have to be refrigerated. You could take this to the beach. You could take it, for a weekend trip, hand it to kids in the back seat. They're easy. And this way too, so like if you did take this to the beach, the kids could use the leftover container to make little, sand castles or whatever. Or if you were bringing shells home, you could put, you could transport the shells back in it. Just, easy to use. So I'm going to start talking really fast. Before I get to convenience stores, let me say this. Sometimes you're just going to have to eat out. You're going to have to eat out, or you're going to have to eat at the hotel, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just going to happen sometimes. If there are occasions that we get to take a really quick trip, or when we had, when my mom was down in Georgia with my sister, and we would just run down there real quick, sometimes you can't plan ahead enough to pack things like I've got them packed. Sometimes you're just going to have to eat out. So let me comment on this real quick. When those days happen, all hotels, even cheap hotels, have these little things of peanut butter. They all have these. They all have either bananas or apples. So these little containers, like they keep this out like with the jelly and stuff at the what do they call it? They call it a continental breakfast, but it ain't much. Some of them are not much of a breakfast. But for the places that have just the bare minimum, they all have this peanut butter, and these little cups of peanut butter like this are 3 smart points. Sometimes I will grab extras of them. You know, I've already paid a chunk of money for the hotel, so I'll take extras of them, and that way I don't take many, just take, like if I'm eating and my husband's not, I'll grab an extra one. These are good in place of the Jif to goes. Angel says some of the hotels have sugar-free jellies too. That's great to know. So you can, heat up a piece of toast, because you're pretty sure that a regular slice of bread, especially if they have whole wheat bread, would be 1 point. Then 3 points for the peanut butter. They all have bananas or apples, so you can make yourself a nice little breakfast. Some of them have hard-boiled eggs, and again, hard-boiled eggs are 2 smart points, so that's nice if they have those. What I don't want you to do is get to the hotel, and if you're lucky, your hotel is really nice and has an actual breakfast bar where you can get like an egg white omelet, or some scrambled eggs and a couple of pieces of bacon or something like that. But what I don't want you to do is get there and use that giant waffle machine, because those big bleep waffles that everybody's been seeing on Weight Watchers from Mud Hustler, if that's a specific recipe, that ain't what they got at the hotel. So I don't want to see anybody making those giant waffles at the hotel and counting those as 3, 4, 5 points, because they're not. They're not. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably about a 10-point waffle. So try to stay away from the waffles, because then you're going to want to put butter on it, and they have real butter. Then you're going to want to put syrup on it. So anyway, all hotels, no matter how cheap it was, Super 8, Motel 6, whatever, and even the nicer ones, they all have these little things of peanut butter. So peanut butter, banana, slice of bread, that would be 4 smart points. You can work something, out. And I wanted to say real quick, so all hotels have that peanut butter. Most of them have the bread. All of them have bananas. All of them usually have apples or an orange, or something sitting out. A lot of them have packs of instant oatmeal, and as long as you don't, Melissa, I didn't even think about that. Melissa said we could do a Wego. Yeah, wouldn't people think actually we could, but people would think we were crazy if we were making Wegos in those hotel waffle makers, but that's awesome. Oh, and Melissa, I actually, believe it or not, I thought of you today at the bridal shower that Casey and I went to. The bride-to-be got a little teeny tiny waffle maker from her grandmother, and she got it at a place here called Marshall's. I don't know if y'all have those or not, but it's kind of like an overstock place. I'm totally going to go see if I can find one of those, because now I want to see how big it really was. She wouldn't take it out of the box so we could see it. She was just like, oh yeah, look, it's a cute little waffle maker, and that was it. We didn't get to see it. So so I wanted to see it outside of the box. But anyway, so back to hotels, they almost all have instant oatmeal. So if you get a packet of instant oatmeal, that's, 4 to 5 smart points. Just don't add a lot to it. You could, if for some bizarre reason they had applesauce, or if you had, like one of the little applesauce packs like I had here just a second ago. I put the lid on that one. A little applesauce thing, you could add that to the instant oatmeal. So for 4 or 5 smart points, you could have some oatmeal. Angie says some of them have grits. That would be good if they have grits, because again, that's about 4 smart points for a little packet. And most of them have Cheerios. So if they have Cheerios, just dry Cheerios, is about 4 smart points for a cup. So that would be a good one if you just get there and you can't plan for any of this stuff. And I'm going to talk really fast because it's like 2 till, and there's a whole section of stuff I want to go over that I found at a convenience store. So, let's see. Okay. Oh, and Angel says if it's the same size as hers, it's the size of an English muffin. That's cool. I want to see it. So some other things that I get if we're out on the road, short trip, long trip, but if somehow we get out on the road and I don't have, any of this packed or planned or whatever, or if we're just like, you know what, I've got all this stuff in the cooler, but just want to grab something while we're in there, because that happens. Some of my favorites are, because again, I will say this, remember, I always have something like this, Halos or Clementines, Sumo Tangelos, something easy to peel, bananas, something like that. Grapes, you could keep grapes in one of these, hold on, and like, so we need sturdy fruit, but if it was not sturdy fruit like grapes, you could keep it in something like this. I always have something like that with me. So one, and I'm reading this off of a list. One of my standbys, and this is a standby for work too, Taco Bell. If you get a Doritos Locos taco, or if you just get a plain taco, no sour cream, it's 5 smart points for the taco, and then I usually have a piece of fruit with it. So it's 5 smart points, and I have Taco Bell. Wendy's, a small chili with their little thing of sour cream is 5 smart points for the chili, and it's 1 smart point for the sour cream. Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets, you can have 12 grilled nuggets for 3 smart points. Awesome. I've also had people tell me that you can order the Chick-fil-A, oh yeah, and Angie says Halo Top ice cream's on sale for $2.99 at Kroger right now. Everybody go stock up. Go stock up. The Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets, though, I've had somebody tell me that you can order just the grilled chicken, just the patty, and that they'll sell you just the patty. So I'm interested in trying that because the nuggets are awesome. If you've never had Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets, there's some kind of weird magic because those things, they are absolutely delicious and they are so moist. And they also have fruit cups at Chick-fil-A. In the mornings, and they do only serve this for breakfast. Chick-fil-A has their Chick-fil-A egg white grill. Those are 8 smart points, and they are delicious. Those with a fruit cup in the morning, perfect. Panera, if you have an opportunity to stop at Panera, it's probably one of the best places if you need to go in and sit down, for a quick meal that's real food and good. I get a half of the medium veggie sandwich and a cup of the black bean soup. That's 11 smart points. When I do have to go to McDonald's, and I try not to go to McDonald's, try getting like a Happy Meal or their Egg White Delight. And I think their Egg White on an English muffin it's probably about 8 or 9 smart points. But I try to avoid McDonald's when I can. If you have the luxury of going to Cracker Barrel, and if you have, Melissa wants to know how much is just the black bean soup. I think it's 4. I think it's 7, 11. I think it's 7 for the half of the sand. That's a half of the medium veggie. So that's, let's see, Nicole says it's 8. For a cup of the black bean soup, it's 4. That's a cup. That's this big. That's not a bowl of black bean soup. That's a cup of black bean soup. And let's see, and if you like we have Cracker Barrel around here, and I don't know. The egg white. The egg white at McDonald's is 8. Okay, so yeah, so about the same as Chick-fil-A. And they actually taste good. And McDonald's serves breakfast all day, so that's handy. And it's 9:02, so yeah. But we still have all this. You all have to stay for the convenience store stuff. Angel says the grilled spicy catfish at Cracker Barrel is so good, and it's only 4 smart points. So what I get at Cracker Barrel, the chicken tenders, I get chicken tenders, green beans, and brown rice, and that's 11 smart points. I didn't break it out, as to what it was individually, but just know that things like green beans, carrots, things like that at Cracker Barrel, you really can't. I don't really think you can order them without the seasoning. The vegetables are made like the vegetables are made, so they're going to have points. All of their vegetables are going to have points. Even the cabbage has points, so just know that going in. And Cracker Barrel is on the Weight Watchers app. Everything that I just mentioned, this entire list, this will be in the transcription when I go upstairs and do that, so you won't have to look all those back up. But after I get that put up, that'll be on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And Nicole wants to know if we have a Chicken Express up our way. I have no idea what that is, so I'm going to say no. Okay, and Melissa says the black bean soup, the cup is 4 points, like I said, and a bowl is 6 points. Okay, so let's talk about convenience stores. Okay, so anytime we make a road trip, even the best laid plans, or whatever that saying is about the best laid plans, so sometimes it happens, you need to get, thank you Casey for putting up the website, sometimes you need to grab something, or sometimes when everybody else is grabbing a bag of chips and a Coke at the Pilot or the truck stop, you're going to want to get something. So here are a few things that I found at here in East Tennessee. They're called Weigels, and it's spelled Weigels for you girls who have no idea what I just said. Pilot here in East Tennessee has them. Now we travel, the majority of what we travel is up and down Interstate 75. So these are all things you should be able to find up and down Interstate 75. If you don't live on it off of Interstate 75, don't know how to help you. But you're going to be able to find a lot of this stuff. So don't give up. All convenience stores have hard-boiled eggs. All convenience stores have some form of cheese sticks. All convenience stores, and when I'm saying convenience store, I'm talking like if you stop to get gas, stop to get some kind of fuel, and truck stops are really good because they usually have a huge selection of food because, you know, the truck drivers are eating while they're on the road. So truck stops are a great one. If you are going through Florida, at the Florida Turnpike, they have a nice big store in there. But you can get gas there too. So when I say convenience stores, I'm talking about places that you would run in and pick up a snack or something while you're traveling. So if you get, okay, and my husband just texted me from the bedroom and said also Casey's in the Midwest. I have no idea what's a Casey's. Okay, so apparently in the Midwest, Casey's is a convenience store. Who knew? So here, you know, like, so around here, like Pilot. So it's a gas station. Pilot is a gas station, and they have a food mart in it. Weigels, Exxon, Shell, you know, and again, like, what's that truck stop called? Truck Stops of America or? Oh, TA. TA, some Travel America. So Travel America. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Carol said, Jersey girls don't pump gas, so I never get out of the car when I'm getting gas. Well, Carol, when you drive through on Interstate 75, when you come, I don't know what interstate starts out in New Jersey, but when you're going south from New Jersey and you go through Tennessee, get out of your car in Tennessee, you're okay. Just don't stop in Oneida or Helenwood. And if there's anybody here from Oneida or Helenwood, I'm so sorry. But don't stop there. So stop north or south of that. But when you come through, so Carol, when you're coming down 75 on your way to Florida, yeah, stop and get out of your car. It's okay to get out of your car and pump gas down here, and you're going to want to get some of this stuff. Oh, and my husband says Wawa's in Florida. So again, that's another, you know, convenience store. So that's what I mean when I say convenience store. I'm talking about gas stations that also have food. So it's 9:07. Let's talk real quick, because the people that are joining us on YouTube or that are watching this later on YouTube are thinking, good Lord, does this girl ever shut up? Because they don't realize this is a live chat, and I'm talking to you all as I'm doing this. So let's go back to some of these things that I found. These were probably the most popular when I posted them on Instagram and Pinterest. And again, y'all can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, if you need to go back and find this stuff later. And Casey says, Daddy is all over it tonight. He is, because they work in a lot of those stores, and I didn't even think about it when I was prepping for this. Oh, and Rachel says, thank you for your help. But anyway, so all of these will be on the blog, www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, in the transcripts. But if you don't have time to go back to the transcripts, or if you just need a quick look, or you want to see a picture of it or whatever, all of this stuff I post on Pinterest, I post it on Instagram, and I post it in both of my Facebook groups. So thank you, Nicole, for putting out the website. So this one is Oh Snap Pickling Company, and I found these at Weigels here in Knoxville, and this was in a center section, so it was in a refrigerated section where they had, oh, and I'm sorry, almost all of them also had yogurt, so you can find yogurt there too, but I found it in the center section where they had like sandwiches and cheese and things like that. So this is Oh Snap, and they're carrot cuties, and for 1 ounce, it's 1 Smart Point, and let me see, the serving, there's 3 servings in this, but I calculated it, so I put the serving size, 1 ounce is 1 Smart Point, but I calculated it, and 3 ounces, which is the entire bag, is still 1 Smart Point. These do have to be refrigerated. These have to be refrigerated. But it's pickled carrot sticks. How fun is that? And these are pickled green beans. Again, how much fun is that? 5 pieces is 0 Smart Points, so there are 2 servings in the bag, still 0 Smart Points. Have to be refrigerated. These I'm super excited about. These are Hottie Bites, and they're pickles, and they're Hottie Bites, and I love, 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 love hot pickles. And I heard one of the girls say that they have these in the vending machine at her work. I want to know where you work, because that sounds like a fun place to be. So these were, let's see, 1 ounce was 0 smart points, and there are three servings in the bag. It was still 0 smart points. So I don't know who's opening this and eating a third of the bag. That person's crazy. But all 3 of these have to be refrigerated. This is something that I would pick up, probably, pick up as we're, headed through, one of the gas stations, one of the convenience stores. But, but what a great snack. I'm sure they're delicious. I haven't actually tried them yet, but I've had people, when I put these on Instagram, everybody just went crazy. Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're so good. I mean, they also have one that's a whole pickle. It's called Just the Deal, or It's a Big Deal, or something like that. But yeah, it's 0 points too. So, I mean, these, I can totally see me snacking on these while we're driving. If you need something that's more like a little tiny meal, they all have something like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Sabra brand, but our store had Sabra. It was Sabra hummus with pretzels, roasted garlic. So, gee, does that look familiar? Remember when I was talking about how sturdy the pretzels are? So, again, there's some pretzels in here. There's some hummus in here. You don't have to have any utensils. It's all in this little container. When you're done, you could reuse this container to put some more pretzels in if you wanted to. But 1 container is 8 smart points, and I know 8 is a little steep for some of you all, but think about it. That's 8 smart points in this. You're satisfied. Hummus fills you up. And it's going to keep you out of the line at McDonald's, and I promise you're going to spend more than 8 smart points if you go through McDonald's. This has to be refrigerated. So all of this has to be refrigerated, so either eat it as soon as you get it or put it in your cooler. This one's another one that has to be refrigerated. These are Jack Links, and it's the All-American Beef and Cheese. So there's a beef stick and a cheese stick in here. Who would not feel like they were eating good with their kids? I would feel very satisfied with this. It's 5 smart points for the pack, but this is something I would have picked before Weight Watchers. But this particular version is only 5 smart points. For both of those, I would be very happy with this. But again, this has cheese in it. It has to be refrigerated. So all of these items right here I picked up, at a convenience store, at a gas station. This one is P3 Portable Protein Pack. This one happens to be chicken, peanuts, and cheddar. I think it's a little expensive, but again, if it's going to keep me out of the line at McDonald's, 5 smart points for 1 package, that's not a bad deal. There's not a whole lot of food in here, but I think that could keep me going, for 5 smart points. I think this could keep me going for a little while till we got to our next stop and could get some real food. And it's better than a candy bar because it's real food. This is from Jack Links too, which I think they're my new favorite people. But this is the Jack Links Original Turkey Strip. This does not have to be refrigerated. Look how big this is. This thing is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Don't have to be, when Alan says he eats these all the time, and they're awesome. The Jack Links are awesome. And Alan, you know what? Thank you for telling me what you were talking about, so I didn't have to guess. But these do not have to be refrigerated. These will totally be going in our backpack, for when we're at Disney World and when we're camping and things, because it does not have to be refrigerated. And this whole thing, for the entire package, it's only 4 smart points. And this is, look at how long this is. Look how big this is for 4 smart points. Yeah, I could be very happy with this. So this one is the original turkey strip. So it's less points because it's turkey, but I've had Jack Links, not in a package like this, but I've had Jack Links before, and they're absolutely delicious. 18 grams of protein too, and y'all know how I am about my protein. But it does not have to be refrigerated. You can never, ever, ever go wrong in moments of desperation with a pack of peanut butter crackers. There are plenty of times at work that you can ask Casey. There are plenty of times at work that even, again, the best laid plans, it doesn't matter what I planned, what I'm doing, if we get busy, there are some days that I just grab a pack of crackers and a banana, or a pack of crackers and a clementine. Ritz brand in all convenience stores, all gas stations, I don't care whether they have a store or not, everybody has peanut butter crackers. Ritz brand peanut butter crackers are 7 smart points, and Casey says all the time. Yeah, she knows. Ritz for 1 pack, for this whole pack, is 7 smart points. Some of the other brands, the brand that we keep at work, it's 6 smart points for the whole pack. But yeah, don't tell me you couldn't find anything to eat. Ritz crackers are available everywhere. Okay, and then the last couple of things I want to talk about. So when we are traveling, when we're actually driving, probably one of the things that I'm the most whiny about is, and if you've noticed, I've mentioned peanut M&Ms probably 3 or 4 times. That used to be our go-to snack. We would get, sometimes my husband will eat them for breakfast, and they're a delicious breakfast, but I just don't have that many smart points usually for them. But when we're traveling, that's one of the things that I get the most, you know, everybody else gets to have good snacks, and everybody else gets to have peanut M&Ms and whole milk, and, you know, poor little pitiful me, I don't ever get to have anything. So when we stop at a convenience store, I try to pick up some things that are, you know, good fill-ins, you know, for the sweet treats. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm in a car every day, you know, at least twice a day. And when I'm just driving around Knoxville, I don't feel the need to have candy or to eat candy. I mean, I don't think, oh, I'm in a car, I've got to have candy. But for some reason, even if we're just driving to Atlanta, and Atlanta's 3.5 hours from here, even if we're just driving there, I'm like, oh, we're in the car, we got to have candy. So I get a couple of things for me. These were new. I've never had these before, but it was a nice little sweet treat. Goodness knows, and they just happened to have this at the convenience store that I was at. They all have some little treats like this. Please do scan them. Please do check the smart points. Please don't assume anything. You know how I am. I double check everything. And I promise, ladies, we're going to wrap this up here in just a few minutes so y'all can go on to bed. And I've got to go upstairs and do transcripts. And neither one of us have eaten supper. But anyway, so this was this whole container was 6 smart points. This is very much like the Nougat bar. Okay, I shouldn't say very much like it. It's a sweet treat, which for some reason I feel like I need to eat candy. I don't know why when I'm driving. But you know, that one was 6 points. This one is 4 points, but they do not sell Nougat Slim at convenience stores. So what I'm talking about right now is if you're already out and about and you're desperate, those. They sell these at every convenience store that I've ever been in. They sell Chester's Puff Corn. I'm not recommending that you buy an entire bag of this and open it unless you have other people in the car. If you do have other people in the car that you can share it with, hopefully you've had a little bit of time to plan and you've packed some kind of a container. You get 42 of these as 5 smart points. So if you could count out 42 of them into your container that you brought with you, or if you have keep Ziploc bags in the car, in the vehicle or whatever, but if you could count out 42 of them, then you've got 42 points worth of these. 42 of these for 5 smart points, and they're absolutely delicious. 42 goes a long way. I'm very satisfied when I eat these, and then just pass the bag on to somebody else. Don't let the bag come back around you, or you're going to end up eating 84 of them like I do. Okay, and a couple more things. Always a good go-to. I love Lifesavers, and if you can think far enough ahead to buy them in the little individual bags, in the little individually wrapped, that's better. But if you pick them up at a convenience store, 2 Lifesavers are 1 smart point. That does not mean that they are 1 smart point. 2 is 1, 3 is 3. The math doesn't work that way. Try to stop at 2. And I'm going to encourage you, if you get Lifesavers, they are yummy, and you need to let them melt in your mouth. Don't chew them up and swallow them. Actually enjoy them. But I like these because this can keep me satisfied for a long time. If you'll actually just let them melt in your mouth like they're meant to, it'll satisfy you for a long time. Mentos, I love Mentos, and if you go to Aldi, their brand is, let's see, I actually have some here. Oh, nope, those are still Mentos. Anyway, Mentos, they have at all gas station convenience stores. 2 Mentos are 1 smart point, and it doesn't matter if they're the fruit kind or if they're the mint kind, but I will say this, they have a new one that I saw the first time the other day. It was like a chocolate caramel one, and I think it was 1 for 1 smart point or whatever, but don't assume all Mentos are the same. But again, these are chewy. You can let them, sit in your mouth. But this one's a nice one when everybody else is popping Skittles and Starburst and things in their mouth. Having these, fruit chews, I don't know, it's just a nice, it's nice to have something for yourself. And then a personal favorite, because I am a big Werther's fan, and I don't know why, I feel like I'm doing something, decadent if I'm eating something that's, caramel. But Werther's Originals, 3 pieces are 3. The 3 pieces is a serving, and 3 pieces are 3 smart points. And again, if you let them melt in your mouth, you can make these last a really long time. So we've got our pre-made containers. We've got some ideas for if we have to stop somewhere and eat out. We've got lots of things from convenience stores if we get stuck out, and we've got some pre-planned ideas. So who's getting ready to leave to go on a trip, and who feels like they are more prepared now than they were before we started, and who thinks that you can keep if you're taking children with you, who thinks that they can keep the children and civilians at bay, in the vehicle, who thinks you can keep everybody under control in the vehicle without going crazy, including yourself. So I hope you all got some great tips, and thank you so much for all the hearts and the thumbs ups. Don't forget, when you go back and watch all of these, thank you everybody, when you go back and watch all of these later on www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, so when you go back and watch these, please, when you watch them on YouTube, like, share, and comment, because that will help me to be able to do some more chats. It'll help me to be able to keep doing them. And I thank you all again. I have not decided what we're going to do next week. Oh, good. Angels, they're leaving next week, no kids, but they're already mostly packed snacks, and they have a few new ideas. So I hope this helps you all out. And again, thank you all so much for the hearts and the thumbs up. When you go back and watch this on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and thank you for the likes, shares, and comments so that I can keep doing these. Please do share with your friends. Yeah, haven't decided what I'm going to do next week. And Angie, you can shush. But as always, I'm headed upstairs to actually, I'm going to make some dinner just real quick. And then I'm headed upstairs to transcribe things. And y'all are so sweet with the hearts tonight. There's a lot of hearts and thumbs ups, and I really do appreciate those. But I do thank you guys again. I love doing this, and I love that you all let me do this, because it actually, believe it or not, this is actually fun for me. This is a nice break from work. So thanks again, and I will see you all next Sunday. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.